Struggling to connect with fans and boost music sales? Meet Uru Uru, the ultimate tool for independent musicians. Are you tired of hauling merchandise and dealing with complex platforms? Uru Uru is here to transform concerts into immediate sales opportunities. With its simple QR code feature, fans can instantly purchase music as they enjoy the performance. No hassle, no delay, just pure connection and support. Discover how easy it is to share and sell music directly. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. Empower your music journey with Uru Uru and watch the magic happen.
Hey everybody, this is John Seda from Rising Sun Music. I'm here with amazing Bryin Zyin.
Hello everybody.
Also known as Bryin Williamson.
Bryin Williamson.
But is it Zyin or is it Williamson?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like best?
Bryin Zyin.
Oh,
yeah, I like that artist name.
That's cool. All right. So anyway, so Bryin, when did you start music? I mean, when did it? Because I've known you for quite a few years, but so I know a lot about the background. But they don't know, so I got to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when did music start for you in your life?
Music started for me in my life when I was an infant, 1986.
Yeah,
born and raised. Y'all know. This was coming off of the age of Funkadelic and all of that, folks.
Yeah,
and hip hop was really.
So your family would play that music in the background, right? I bet you were dancing, dancing your way up to walking.
Well, I was actually, when I was a baby, I was actually doing a lot of that because my dad would play the music really loud, and it was very difficult for me to be able to process everything.
Right.
In those early years.
I can imagine. Those were the loud years. I mean, I remember those times because that's when I had super big speaker cabinets for my guitar, and I probably lost a little bit of my hearing because of that. You know what I mean? But it was like that back then.
Yeah.
And now it's funny. Now we just got little tiny Bluetooth speakers,
and
people actually, and for those that are out there, need to be careful about in-ear monitors. Because it's not like it was like blasting speakers, but that thing is stuck in your ear. It's not like it's actually in. Some of them make them custom made, which that scares me because there's no breathing. Let's just put it that way. It's just going right in your ear.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be careful for that. So anyway, so when was your first experiences with music? When you could remember.
Well, my first experience was writing music in middle school. I started off writing classical music. I listened to Bach and Mozart, and the classics. And I started experimenting with music theory. And I started putting those together. Ooh, that sounds good. And before you know it, it led me to being able to get into Blake High School. Performing arts. This is back when, they first opened up again. I mean, for those of you that know the history in Tampa, Blake High School was originally a traditional school, and then they opened up again in 1997, 98 as a performing arts school. And I remember applying and getting in there, coming out of Burnett Middle School, got into orchestra. And, I wasn't really, more of a performer. I was more of a writer.
I went there one time to visit. They had invited me to come and check it out.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. That's not funded by the government. That's funded by football players, most of them. A lot of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and different players, because, this city has the Yankees, it has the Rays, it has all these different, entities that come here. And because of the summer, I think it's spring training is what it is when they come here.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I'm not a sports guy, okay? I'm a music guy, so if I say something wrong, forgive me. But a lot of the players are here, So so there's been. I was told that a lot of them. They showed me places where certain people had made donations. I felt really cool about that. It's interesting because a lot of great talent comes from that school. I think. I'm not sure, but there was one girl from Tampa who just won a Grammy. I'm not sure if she went there, though. It would be interesting to find out.
Doechii.
Yeah. Was she in that school?
She graduated 9 or 10 years after my wife and I did, something like that. Yeah. So she came out like 2013, 2014. Right. And
So she was in Blake.
Signed up, yeah.
Graduated from Blake. Blake put out some stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. And of course I've seen other musicians, that been to that school, and it seems to be it seems like they're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Because they're definitely learning the craft. And so as a songwriter and singer, because that your thing is to sing, but you also play piano a little bit, right?
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Keyboards and stuff. And what is your feeling about the music you're writing right now? I mean, how would you express it?
I don't know. It's kind of weird, but let me explain it to you this way. It's kind of like the music that I'm writing is like music. It's like that stuff before people actually catch on and they're like, wow, this is really awesome, like the Beatles before they got discovered, like those people before they hit that big sound, that one song that turned the world upside down on their particular, way of being and so on. So in many ways, I feel that, I feel that energy, maybe it might be a situation where I die and 100 years later get discovered like Bach did, he's dead for 100 years before people actually started listening to his music. So maybe it might be one of those things, So again, it's just
right. I mean, you can never tell, and to tell you the truth is, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I don't think you can, because of what's going on in the current music situation. I don't think you can assess that the people that are on top are the best. I don't feel that, because I've been surrounded by so many credible artists, right? I said maybe they don't have that experience that they do, because there is an experience that goes along with it, getting on big stages and stuff like that. But I've seen some people that are incredible and they never get the time of day. Now, it could be their fault. It could be just chance, or they weren't at the right place at the right time.
Kind of reminds me of Machiavelli, He wasn't, he was a person that wrote about popular people during his time in the Middle Ages, but, he didn't really get that spot or position.
Right.
But you're talking about him today, 400 or 500 years removed from his time. So there you go,
Yeah, exactly. So I think, it's hard to judge now, because I think now it's more a popularity contest, versus talent.
Substance.
Yeah, substance. That's a good way to put it. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel? I mean, I don't really feel... Me personally, it doesn't affect me. I don't think it's fair in a way, because I don't think, for some reason, whoever is picking the talent, what is the real reason behind the reason why they do it? Because, and I know this is a subject I've talked to with other artists, but I can't help it. Is I grew up in a time I was very lucky, because there was a lot of bands, there was a lot of solo artists, there was a lot of everything, And now there's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it's always the same thing. And it's kind of like almost like they're putting a puzzle together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really. You can't go and say like, "Wow, that's a really great song." Once in a while it happens, but I felt that when music in the '80s and the '70s, even the '60s, '90s, up to the '90s. There was nurture into the music, like somebody was behind it to make it happen.
Yeah.
And they worked hard at it. And now it's like 2 hours in the studio and it's a hit, whatever. And that's a little exaggeration, but it's kind of like that.
Oh.
It's not, I don't see the time being put into music to get the results they were getting before. And, but I don't, one thing I'm against, and, because I don't like it, I don't like living in the past or anything like that. So whatever happened then was nice. And you wonder what's going to happen now, because it seems to be like it's almost like when you look at it, you go, well, who came up with this? I mean, sorry, but that's how I feel.
Oh, so there's a name behind all of these.
I don't feel there's not much time putting into it. I've known you for a couple of years, and you've been recording a lot, and you're putting time into it, and every time you come in, it gets better and better and better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's where I feel that I think I've always found that you're different in that sense, because you're not worried. You're not doing this for a popularity contest.
No,
you're doing this more for your own, your feel. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, so you heard the song "Stay to Swing," and and some of those other ones I put up there, "Please Love Everyone Tonight" and so on. Okay, the message is clear. Do these things and you'll have a better quality life. And all these other things that we put on the pedestal, like money and fame and all of that. Again, anyone can have it. Anyone can have it now. But we erect these walls and these divisions and these exclusivities because again, that's what we learned, that there's profit, capitalism, so on and all of that. But the thing is, we all got the lesson already. So we need to get to a point now where there's enough for everybody, and making sure that everyone wins, and we gain and grow even more. But people are afraid because, again, people get in the spot and they play gatekeeper, And so again, this is going back to the other artists that we met, the gentleman that wrote that beautiful song. But the message is true. That since the days of the Egyptians, since the social con game that we've been playing on one another, for the people that are signed up versus the ones that ain't, the different levels, people that are signed up, they got their own issues and troubles that they go through, I'm sure,
I think,
so,
I think a lot of it's being influenced also by social media, like
that's it.
And what is social media? Social media is basically abomination of the news times 20 million, right? You know what I mean? Because I just saw, and the reason why I said that was I just saw something the other day where it was somebody, actually I was watching, this is going to be funny. This has nothing to do with music, but it's interesting. And it made me think this way. I was watching an old movie of George C. Scott, the Patton movie, right?
Yeah, I believe I'm familiar with that, yeah.
And I saw it, I said, I'm going to see this movie again, right? So I saw it, and there was a part, because he was really good at what he did, and they were jealous of him.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't play around. I mean, when he wanted to go attack, he would attack and go beyond. He was like, it was like you couldn't catch up with the guy. He just had a tactic the way he did things, right? Just wham down the center. So what happened was, the press gave him heat. I mean, to the point where he was becoming sad. Like what's going on with this? And I just thought to myself when I saw that, I go, there's social media right there. You know what I mean?
Cracking his mind like an egg. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, of course, it's worse because now there's a video camera and everybody has one. But I was just thinking about it. I said, well, there's a guy who actually saved the world. You know what I mean? And they were messing with him for really dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Because he made a comment. Yeah. But the truth, here's the sad part, or the good part, right? The things he said were true.
Yeah.
None of them were lies, because he saw it, because he had studied. Here's a guy who studied, this is why you should study music, okay?
And history, folks.
Yes, exactly. This is why I'm bringing this up. He studied all the battles, so he knew each one and where they went wrong. So he said, we can't do this one in World War II. We got to do it this way. And they wouldn't listen to him.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you don't get it. It's just not going to work. It never worked before. So he was using history. And, for those who don't know Bryan's a teacher, history teacher, actually, which makes it interesting. Me and get him to we talks about stuff,
man.
And we have fun with it. But
it's effective when students listen.
Yeah. So how do you, what inspires you to write these songs that you're writing? Because you're doing a lot of social songs, but you're also doing songs of love and different things, What inspires you?
That's a beautiful question. Well, what inspires me is this experience called life. The ups and downs, the good and bad, and us trying to interpret and make the best sense that we can out of it without hurting each other, ultimately.
Right.
And that's the end result. Can we do this? Can we make sense of this neurologically, intellectually, spiritually, without harming one another and without dooming each other to the same whims that those before us have been subjected to and have subjected themselves to? Can we do it?
I don't know. That's a good question, because I saw this one comedian. He made a joke about how he didn't want his daughter to have a cell phone. And he talks about the whole spiel, right? And at the end, he goes, that's why I don't want my daughter to have a cell phone. Right? Because, she was going to be influenced by everything. And then, he made a joke about it, about how he texts people because he feels lonely. And that's the society we kind of live in.
That's a society that's been cultivated through the historical experience that we've all been.
And it's interesting. I find it, like some people come and talk to me because I'm older. Of course, I'm probably grandpa to some people, dad to another, right? And I'm like, what's wrong with everybody? This is not so complicated. No. We used to have a great time. I miss being in a band. But I can't see myself in a band right now because I don't think it's the same anymore. You know what I mean? It used to be like a brotherhood, like
Yes,
you know,
sir.
like a family type of thing, because, you know,
Yes,
you
sir.
don't want to say just brothers, because there was women, and we had women in the group too, right? So it was a family. And now it's just, I don't know, it's just so
Dynamics have shifted socially,
well,
culturally,
of
but
course.
again,
I mean, it's evolution, right? You
the last
know?
50, 60 years especially, I've been paramount.
Yeah, and the things that the topics that are being written about. I mean, how do you feel when somebody just how do you feel about songs that are just written about all the troubles you go through? How does that make you feel?
Well, it's a two-part thing for me. The melody has to resonate with me. You know, the melody, because how I write my music is I write the music melodically first, and then I go back and add lyrics. You know, and then you have other songwriters that write the lyrics and then all that. You know, but I write the melodic stuff first, and then after that I go back
That's
and
my
I
approach
put
too.
the words and the feeling with that sound that you hear. Right.
So when you create, because
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like something that I do,
Mm-hmm.
just curious, right? When
Uh,
you create, do you start with the music first, or do you have a lick that you sing, or because you're a lyricist, so
mm-hmm.
if
Good
that could
question. Yeah.
happen first, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
How is it for you?
Well, for me, it's weird. Let me explain it this way. Motown and all of that, they always had a hook. Okay, they always had something that people remember. You know, it lasts a few
Right,
seconds,
right.
and you keep repeating that over and over and over again. It's just like learning language, right? Thank you, you're welcome. You know, in Chinese, you know, shishi,
Right,
bukuchi, and so right.
right.
So that cadence for me really resonated, and being able to repetize that, and then also expand upon that particular scheme. So, like with Bach, you know, going to classical, composers, when they would write a theme, a moog, a fugue, it was a motif, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, they would expand upon that motif, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would have different categories and so on, but it'll always lead back to that same identifiable melodic scheme.
What hooks you in?
And when people hear it, just like the movie Hook, dun 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 dun, right?
Right, right, right.
In the movies, you have that melodic theme that is associated with that character or with that condition.
Mm.
And that's what I do when I write music. I'm trying to create something that when people hear it, they're like, "Oh, that's Bryin Zyin," or "Oh, that's Kendrick Lamar." You know, so
Yeah,
on,
it's
so
an
on, right?
identification.
You know? Yeah, it's identification,
Yeah,
right?
of course. I mean,
Yeah, it's a tag.
that's, and it's true because, you know, like even with guitar players, like you see Santana,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, they all had signatures.
Right.
I mean, you hear them, you know it's them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to, no one has to tell you.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, there was only one Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Only one.
And John Seda, right?
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And guitar master at Tampa Bay. There's no other.
No.
Yeah, distinct. So
Thank
that's
you,
what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you think of and here's the thing too, we had an era that we had two greats at the same time, which was well, there was a bunch of them. This is what I'm trying to say. This is what I don't see now.
Mm-hmm.
I see it just I call them the 15 chosen ones, right? And that's it. Where's the rest? You know? And so I was surprised that the girl, what was her name? The one from Blake, the one
Doechii.
Doechii.
Yeah.
That she won because, you know, obviously she just came out of wow.
Yeah.
All of a sudden
you sign up with the, record labels,
right. No, I know, but she was not it was cool how she just came out, you know.
She's talented.
It was it was fresh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I saw
my wife loves her. She's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw her performance and how she did things, and it was really cool. It was different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We need to I just feel like the society needs to be more involved with letting the artists come out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to an older individual. We did a song. He wrote this beautiful song, and we're almost done with it. And he wrote the song like 35 years ago. Mm-hmm. And finally he's going to do it, right? And he was so happy the other night because it came, the dream came true. So it's not about age or anything.
Since the days of Akhenaten.
Yeah. Oh, Neil.
Neil. That was the name of the piece.
Yeah. That's a message for Neil Brown.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Neil Brown.
He remembered your song, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, but there was this, this thing that happens where, and it's not even a question. It's about, I guess it's about being sincere with yourself, right? Writing what you feel.
Yeah.
Man, that's how I do it. I mean, when people ask me what genre you play, I always have trouble answering that question because I don't really feel like I have a genre. I just like music, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I adapt. Maybe that's my gift, you know. That's why we say we have magic here.
Mm-hmm.
I adapt to whatever the style is.
Yeah.
In other words, and I've always said this. This is one thing I've said, that in every genre there's a hit song.
Yeah, you got that right.
And you know, and you hear it.
Yeah.
When you hear that hit song from that genre or that whatever culture, whatever it is, you go, that's cool. You know what I mean? And you can relate to it.
Absolutely.
Because it's a musical thing. It's it's cultural, it's spiritual, it's dynamic, in the sense that anybody that hears it will say, I get it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing I think is the thing that I think I strive for, is to write stuff that connects with people. And that's not always that easy. You know what I mean?
No.
But so you want to talk about the next thing that's coming soon?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the next thing that's coming soon, folks, is visit the Swing State store when you get a chance. And that Swing State album's coming out within the next couple of months, calendar months. So be prepared for that, ladies and gentlemen. And also many, many more things to come, but I can't tell you all here because, again, I tell you everything now, you may be like, oh, that's it. That's all Bryin Zyin got to offer.
Oh, no, there's a lot of stuff. He sang a lot of stuff for me. And we just did a song for the Olympics. It's coming out. He wrote part of the lyrics on there, quite a bit of it. And and then we've got that one. We can leak this one out, We what was it? Oh my God, what was the one that we did with this guy? Taking It to the Streets.
Oh yes.
Oh God, wait until you hear that. That's amazing.
I'm not gonna say no comment.
Yep. Quiet. But anyway, it was a pleasure to talk to you today.
Indeed.
And I hope we keep working for many years to come.
A pleasure.
And if you need a background singer or somebody to sing your song, this man sings like an angel.
Bryin
So
Zyin.
you can contact me if you need somebody to, because sometimes people write music and they're not singers. And Bryan's really good at that. He picks up really quick, and he also is a good advisor. Also, he's a vocal coach also.
Oh, thank you, John.
So anyway, take care, everybody.
One love, everybody.
Let's see ourselves.
Oh,
You want to know something funny there? I was talking to Donna, right? So we talked about how when you go on the keyboards to pick out sounds, and there's thousands of them. So let's find the sounds.
I'm telling you, it's like a catharsis. You got a lot going on there.
Anyway, take care, Mr. Bryin Zyin.
One love, everybody.
One love.
Seda, rising sun. One.
Ever feel disconnected from fans despite giving your all at performances? Enter Uru Uru, the game changer for independent musicians struggling with complex platforms or lugging around merch to concerts. Uru Uru simplifies everything. Imagine turning concerts into instant sales opportunities with just a QR code. Fans get to experience music and support on the spot, no hassle, no delay, just pure connection. Sharing and selling music becomes as effortless as putting on a show. Say goodbye to the headache and hello to seamless performances. Discover the power of Uru Uru, available on the App Store now. Ready to amplify your music career? Try it today.